Hello everyone, welcome to the Grand Finals judging session for Geeklist Hack for Good 0.6 against climate change. All this week we've had incredible global panels of judges assessing 48 of the semi-finalists and global challenge finalists who came out from last weekend's global hackathon against climate change. The event saw over 1,000 software developers, product designers, technology innovators, and climate change experts, NGOs, scientists, and government agencies uniting in 31 cities venues around the world, ranging from Melbourne, Australia, to Lusaka, Zambia, to Toronto, Canada, to London, to Berlin, to Santiago, Chile, and ending up in San Francisco, California, and Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. It was a truly incredible event. We were joined by some amazing global NGOs and challenge partners. So technology teams around the world were collaborating with really those who are at the forefront of leading in the humanity's fight against climate change. We were joined by Fauna and Flora International, by WWF, by LEAD International, by WeForest, by the King Tides Project, by Save the Children, Forum for the Future, the World Resources Institute, the UNFCCC, and representatives of the UN Climate Summit, and 350.org, who are not with us today primarily because they're part of the organizing group for the largest ever global march against climate change, which is taking place worldwide today in the lead up to the UN Climate Summit, which is taking place in New York in 2 days' time. So out of the hackathon, we had over 150 projects built, representing the peak of innovation in technologists, developers, designers, using their talent skills voluntarily over a 48-hour period to build innovative solutions to help in humanity's fight against climate change. It was the biggest ever multi-city hackathon against climate change, and today we are seeing and presenting and showcasing the top 6 global grand finalists who have come from that incredible weekend. And we're incredibly honored to be joined by a fantastic global judging panel representing technology and climate policy leadership globally. So first up on our global judging panel, very pleased to welcome Sir David King, who is the UK's Special Representative on Climate Change, appointed by the Foreign Office. Previously the UK's Chief Scientist, the government's Chief Scientist, or Chief Scientific Advisor. Sir David King was the Head of Department of Chemistry at Cambridge University and has published over 500 papers on science and policy. So absolutely an honor to have you with us, David. Thanks for joining us.
I'm delighted to be here. I think this is a great enterprise, and I look forward to hearing the details of the various apps that have been produced. My time at the moment is spent traveling around the world. I'm speaking to you from New York City. We'll be here for these the big climate meetings set up by Ban Ki-moon, and desperately hoping for better progress this time round than we've ever had before. We have a very short time to deal with this problem. The problem is one that my government believes is the biggest challenge we have ever had to face up to as a global society, and therefore we see it as the biggest diplomatic challenge of our age. We're putting quite a bit of money behind that statement. I've got 80 full-time climate attaches in our embassies around the world. So in the last 9 months, I have visited 29 different countries. I'm totally speaking for our Foreign Secretary and government in meeting governments bilaterally. So my job is political persuasion and delivery of the objectives. And the objectives are tremendous. If we look at what the IPCC said in its last report, I think the most important and sobering factor is that today greenhouse gas emissions are increasing globally at 3% per annum. And if we continue at this rate, by about 2040, we will have used up our carbon budget to stay within the 2 degrees centigrade limit, which is already quite a big challenge. If, on the other hand, we want to manage this through global agreement, and this is how I will measure the success of the agreement in Paris, we need to switch from a 3% increase to a 2% decrease per annum, following through to 2050 and beyond. A 5% change in global CO2 emissions is within our grasp. It's not the biggest challenge. What it requires is a massive understanding of the need for behavioral change. And thank you for the opportunity given to me to be on this wonderful panel.
Thank you, David. It really underlines the seriousness with which we must approach this venture. And I hope that some of the technology solutions that we will see today really represent some avenues for helping us unite as humanity to address some of these issues. It is an incredibly huge challenge we have ahead of us. And we at Geeklist believe that technology has a large part to play in really shifting public opinion, shifting humanity's perspective, and help us move to a low-carbon economy. I'm also joined by Ruben Katz, who's the CEO and co-founder of Geeklist and the founder of the Hack for Good movement. Hi, Ruben.
Hi, Dan. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, David, for being a part of this panel. It's an honor to have you here. We recognize governments around the world are looking to make a big change finally, and hope we can be a big part of that in the future. Trying to be a part of that right now. You know, we formed Hack for Good about 6 events ago to try and unite the powers and knowledge and skills of software engineers worldwide to bridge the gap between nonprofits and the needs that they have on the ground, and NGOs and governments and people in need, with what technologists have as skills and knowledge to be able to solve those problems. And in the middle there is a space where nobody was really finding solutions and solving those problems. And something that's been really exciting for us is how we've all come together and united to not just find the problems, but take action and solve the problems, and find ways using technology to do that. And as we know, everything we have and everything we do today is driven by technology. The solutions that we need have technical solutions to them. Many of them need people behind that technology, need people on the ground to implement them, things from reforestation to tracking refugees forced out of their homes by famine, or forced out of their homes by floods, or forced out of their homes by war. We know that it takes people to solve these problems, but people need technologies to organize and use the data that we have and use the information that we know to make the world a better place. So we've created this event to try and unite and bridge the gap between those who know what is needed and those who know how to fix and give and provide the tools and technologies that are needed. To bring together someone like yourself, David, as well, with technologists who have been integral in today, making today's technologies what it is a real great pleasure. We've had over 1,400 software engineers working and hacking away to bring them to the table with us, and then we've been joined today by 2 technology leaders and technology greats, both legends in what they've done. They've both built technologies that have changed the world. and we're joined today by Bram Cohen, who's the chief scientist and founder, creator of the BitTorrent, and founder of BitTorrent Technologies, which arguably runs a vast majority of the internet. And we're also, by his side, joined by Andy Grignon, who is known for not just accepting the first phone call from Steve Jobs ever made on an iPhone, but also being the architect and technologist that helped build that iPhone, the very first one, as well as WebOS and many other great technologies. It's an honor to have you guys here. Bram Cohen, if you want to take a moment and introduce yourself, and then Andy, you as well want to join in.
Yeah. I'm. Am I on?
Yes, you
Go
are.
on.
Okay.
Apologies to everyone on West Coast, first of all, who's it's very early morning for.
Yes. I'm Bram Cohen. I'm the chief scientist of BitTorrent Inc. I'm the founder. I actually invented BitTorrent protocol myself and started the company. And so I released BitTorrent on my own, and it grew, massive.
Thanks, Bram. It's it's always an honor to have you with us. And Andy.
Good morning. I think the coffee's waking me up finally, so I'm ready to go do this. Yeah, my name's Andy Grignon. I did iPhone back at Apple, WebOS, Palm, and a bunch of other nerdy stuff you might use if you're a Mac person. Looking forward to seeing some of the cool technologies, novel solutions to this problem. So thanks for having me here.
Thanks very much, guys. It's really great that you joined us. Again, I think that in order to solve the problems that everyone around the world are marching for us to solve, we have to unite technology and government and NGOs, find the ideas and the challenges that are available, that are really, really happening on the ground, and unite them with technologists like yourselves, like all the great software engineers that have joined us for this event. And by doing that, and only by doing that, will we be able to actually affect change? Will we be able to actually take control of the future of this country and the future of this world and this planet, and find a way to make it a better place, and a place where our children can live and our children's children can still live. And I think we have today 6 apps, which are 6 of over 100 that were built. Any one of those apps can go on and change the world or make a difference in some way, even make a small way or maybe a large way. Today we're looking for the ones that have a large impact. I'm going to pass the floor back over to Dan Cunningham, our global director. And before we go on, this has been over probably a few hundred hours of non-stop sleepless work. It's been tireless and exciting. It's been enthralling. It was put together with me and Dan Cunningham, but in all honesty, the director and the global director who came to us in our second Hack for Good event as an ambassador in London and put so much passion into it, I invited and pleaded for him to take charge of the entire Hack for Good global movement, is Dan Cunningham, who is our own legend inside Geeklist now, and has since then been my partner in making sure that these Hack for Good events are remarkable and growing, and it's been a tireless effort for him. I think maybe he's had 3 hours sleep in 2 weeks since before we started, and just our preparations for the Hack for Good event, which began many hours before Melbourne, Australia, kicked off on the night of the 11th, around midnight, the 11th, 12 or 1 a.m. on the 12th. I guess my time, that would have been 7 p.m. Melbourne, Australia, on the 12th of September, and he's been going non-stop with judging after event, after call, after meetup, after Google Hangout problems, and Dan, a huge applause for you. We owe it all to you that this thing came off as it did, and really grateful for all the hard work you do. You deserve all the recognition. Thanks, Dan. And over to you.
Thanks, Ruben. It's been an absolute pleasure to be working with you and a lot of Geeklist to pull this event off. Every time we get bigger and bigger and slightly more organized, and our ability to enact change in the world grows. So extremely excited about going forwards and future Hack for Good events. It's been an absolute pleasure. And of course, I've been joined by hundreds of volunteers all around the world, by local ambassadors in every city who's taken part, and an incredible global team who've come together to run things like social media and press activities and so on as well. So huge thank you to everyone who's been involved. Right, we're going to get on and see these teams that we've been talking about now. So we're going to see teams from Amsterdam, from Santiago, Chile, from San Francisco, from Krakow, Poland, a few virtual teams who've united people from all around the world, from Barcelona, London, Berlin, Stuttgart, Minneapolis, and of course there are hundreds of other teams who've built incredible things from all continents. We're going to start with a team from Amsterdam called Earth Issue Tracker, who responded to the challenge of building tools for digital activists. I'm going to hand over to Jelly Harold to present. The format is each team is going to have 3 minutes to present and demo, and then we'll have 2 minutes of Q&A with the judges. We have to be strict on time. We're a little bit behind already. So let's get on with it. Hi, Jelly.
Hi. Okay, let's start. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so I'll present to you our hack, the Earth Issue Tracker. So what's the problem? The Earth is facing a large complex of related issues: corruption, politics, greenhouse gases, e-waste, you name it. The large-scale global organization that is needed to address this seems painfully absent. Yet there are many concerned individuals like you and me. But what can we do? You know, maybe you're just a plumber, hacker, lawyer, and does it even matter? And in fact, it might. So the original inspiration for this idea came from watching something dramatic, such as and trying to figure out how to capture my emotional motivation and to go straight into action. So I thought of a button: go here and be useful. The idea, being a software developer, was to maybe apply issue trackers to this. So we could build a catalog of all the problems, maybe their relations, one blocking the other, sub-problems. And I thought this would be addressed at NGOs, scientists, activists, with some moderation guidelines. However, for our hackathon, Hack for Good, we focused on the general public and give this a nice experience. So what is our solution? It's a website or an app that will allow anyone to break down problems into smaller and smaller bits until they become bite-sized and actionable. So that's a cataloging part. Secondly, there's a part that will guide the visitor towards things they can do here and now, things that will make a change. And so we want to minimize your effort and maximize the effect. Thirdly, you can help us rank, filter, and analyze problems and cards and issues and actions. You can share them with friends, and we can use data analytics to figure out where the current activity is. This way, we hope to combine top-down and bottom-up approaches in problem solving, and we imagine our system helping both parties to make their efforts more efficient. So the structure of the website is like this. We have two parts: a drill down, where you can find your actionable item, and a wizard that's more of a 1, 2, 3, go. It will recognize on your IP where you are and immediately send you to some actionable items. So what is it? I'll quickly show you what the website looks like. Please, computer. Thank you. So this is our website. Or what it could look like. Here you see the drill down, a bunch of global issues, and this would be the wizard could look like this. So we see an overview of different cards. The one all the way in the top is the one asking you to fix the planet. You can express your interest in this, which will count it as activity, and you can start breaking it down. Below it, we will see smaller problems. So one is climate change. Well, climate change is mitigated largely by greenhouse gases. To reduce those, here you advertise it again. You could plant trees. Still, this is not actionable, but something, maybe I know that it's actionable, so I can press breakdown and say, WeForest, for instance. I already did that. Edit a link, and below you will see immediately an action to WeForest.
And that's 3 minutes.
And that's 3 minutes. This is our team. Yeah, and any questions?
Thank you.
Is this wiki style? Like anyone can go edit this? What's the permissioning on it?
Well, at the moment anybody can, but we want to add some accounts to this. But in principle, anybody could be able to edit it. We are thinking about the companion site that would be more of a Reddit kind of a website where people with more of a top-down view can help moderate us as well.
Was there a discussion in there as well? I couldn't see if it was just like cards, actionable cards, or was there a way to have an interaction with it?
So this website focuses on the regular user, so that's just cards describing either an issue or a topic and something you can do immediately. However, we imagine on a different website focused for NGOs or scientists where you could have some discussions on what would be the best cards. We're not yet sure how to integrate this.
Can I just come in? To what extent, I'm not an IT geek, so I'm just the climate person. To what extent does this spread? Once you've got it up and running, what's the process by which you encourage more and more people to join?
Well, for instance, you could share something you did. So maybe I planted a tree, and I could share this on Twitter or whatever, Facebook. But also you could recommend other people. Maybe you know a lawyer, maybe something needs a lawyer, and you could tell your friend, hey, how about you help me with this?
Yeah, but in what way does your program actually include that sort of crowdsourcing element? In what way are you getting the multiplier built into the process?
Well, the starring of an issue would be expressing your personal interest to this, but this way we can also call back to you. So when somebody would update it, maybe somebody organizes a rally, we could immediately tweet to you or something like this.
Thank you,
So
guys.
Yes.
Okay, if there are no more, are there any more questions? If not, then that's about 2 minutes. So we'll move on to the next team. Thank you, Jelly and judges, and team, and thank you, judges as well. So next up, we're going to have We Promise, presented by Tom Gallagher, who worked with a virtual team. This is one of the absolute joys and something we aim for hugely with Geeklist Hack for Good, is that anyone, anywhere in the world at all can participate and can use tools such as HipChat and the Geeklist Hackathon web app to form a team and collaborate on a global scale. Hi, Tom.
Hey everyone, my name's Tom Gallagher. I would like to show you a very short YouTube video, if possible, that's been developed by one of our team. We tried it out on just before I came onto this chat, so hopefully it will work.
So just to jump in, to do the YouTube video, everyone who's on the Hangout will need to open the YouTube app, which is on the left-hand side in your set of tools. Everyone watching live on YouTube, I'll share a link in the description.
I'll pause it till you're ready.
So yeah, I'll pause the timer as well.
Thanks.
Just running through. So everyone on the Hangout will have to open the YouTube app on the left-hand side here. Everyone watching live on YouTube, I'll share the link to this video that we're about to watch in the description, so you can open it up in another tab and watch alongside. Do all the judges have that YouTube app open?
Yeah.
Tom, if you could put the link to the YouTube video in the chat as well, and I'll share it on YouTube.
Thanks very much.
So we're going to have YouTube within YouTube.
If you can let me know when you guys are ready, that would be great.
All set. Go for it.
Cool. So hopefully you guys are able to see that video. It's a short introduction to the website, which I'll now screen share with you. And this is our website. It's called We Promise. We wanted to do something a bit more fun. We started out as a project called Learn Pledge Challenge, and we kind of got around to the educational aspect, and it was all very interesting to us, but we wanted to make it more relevant to just the general public, someone who's just come in from the cold and is just hit with something from Facebook or from Twitter on a news feed, and they want to get involved. So we created We Promise. Here you can pledge to do something. So I'll put my name in and my email address. We also give you suggestions here, so you can here say save on energy bills and reduce CO2 by switching your lights for LEDs. These are randomized suggestions, so you can each time you visit the website you will get a new one. We're hoping to add a few more filters on that so that we can get people to search for stuff that's more relevant to them. So I will ride my bike to work instead of getting a taxi, which we can all agree is probably something very good for the climate. I will do this till the end of the month, and my forfeit if I fail is to give £40 to the WWF, who are doing some great work for climate change. I'd like to also introduce here, we have an integration with Just Giving, so people can see climate change charities on the left-hand side, and if they want to just go ahead and pledge some money to one of those charities, then they can do so by clicking the pledge button, and that will take them directly out to Just Giving, where they can give money to one of the charities if they don't necessarily have that much time to do anything themselves. So I'll go ahead and create my pledge. Here's my pledge. I'm going to ride my bike to work instead of getting a taxi. I have 8 days to complete my challenge, and I will share that with my networks. I can share it on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or Instagram. I can also share my forfeit as well, and if I don't complete this within 8 days, I'll have an email in my inbox, and I will have to give my £40 to WWF and send that also back to Facebook or Twitter to tell everybody that I pledged to, that I've actually failed and I've done my forfeit. So this was our idea. It's quite simple. We wanted to try and get as much traction as possible. It's also internationalized, so we have a...
That's 3 minutes.
Sorry. Cool.
That's okay. 3 minutes.
Any questions?
You know, what's interesting about this is that it seems to combine the aspects of, remember the Ice Bucket Challenge, where people would do these silly videos, and then most of them wouldn't actually contribute any money. And so I like this aspect of it, which is doing something with kind of a follow-up pledge. I think money is always a good thing to contribute to these things, but having some accountability or the ability to talk about that, I think, is kind of an important part. So I think that's an interesting piece of this.
We also wanted to link the forfeits also to the Just Giving platform too, so that one of your forfeits can easily be just to choose a charity and go ahead and donate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bram, David, do you have any questions or observations?
No,
This one?
okay.
Okay, so thank you very much. Oh, go ahead.
Any way of like putting in your bank account information so it's all set and ready to go into a donation that you pledged beforehand, or is it kind of on the honor system now?
So we're hoping to leverage people's Just Giving accounts. I'm not sure how prolific that is around the world, but certainly in the UK, lots of people already have a Just Giving account. And that they already have all their information saved, so they just tap in their username and password, and away they go. The money gets sent.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly not something that I've heard of here in the US, but interesting.
We could easily integrate other APIs as well, and maybe make those specific to the country of which the person's visiting from. And
it's coming to the US. I know they're about to open a New York office.
Yes, yeah.
Just giving we're one of our global sponsors and partners for the Hack for Good event. We're extremely grateful for their support. All right, thank you, Tom and team. Next, we're going to move on to My Future Climate, presented by Richard Barnes, which is one of the teams who addressed the visualization challenge.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Excellent. So I am presenting My Future Climate, and the idea behind our project is that a lot of climate data is kind of locked up in formats that are understandable to scientists, but not to the general public or to land management planners. So we wanted to take that data, and we wanted to present it in a form that would be easy to understand for both the public and for land management purposes. So I'm going to bring up the screen share here, if I can find the link on the left-hand side. Capture. Oh geez, there we go. Screen share. Yay. Okay. Show. So this is the interface for My Future Climate. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So the idea is, let's say that you're interested, and let me just run through one more thing here. So this is like the climate of Minnesota on my central screen here, and you'll see that it consists of very different biomes. As precipitation and temperature change in relation to climate, those biomes will move. And as they move, farmers who are in one biome might end up in another, state and national parks that are in one biome might end up in another, species that are endangered or limited, or croplands that are important will perhaps end up in places where they can't survive anymore. So you want to bring the things that can survive to you, and you want to know what's coming in your future. So for instance, for Minneapolis, Minnesota, the climate for 2020 is most analogous to this blob here. And as we move forward into the future, you can see that the similar climate drifts away. And then at the bottom of the screen, you can see the town or city most closely analogous in the future today, whose climate is most like your climate will be in the future.
Richard, if you could just hide that little prompt, we can't see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, great. There we go. Okay.
Thanks.
So in 2060, Minneapolis' climate will be a lot like Omaha's climate is today. In response to prior asking by the judges, we can also look at the summer or winter climates of Minneapolis, which tend to be less constrained and so cover a larger area. We've also included future climate projections of precipitation temperature through the next century. This will work for any city or location in the world. We've spoken with at least one ag firm about using this, and they say that it might be useful for letting their farmers know what's coming in the future. And we'll be using this technique for predicting the future climate for at least 7 state parks in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. In ongoing development, we're interested in trying to incorporate sea level rise, provided we can find a high-quality data set for that. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers the presentation. Just kind of show you a couple more cities here, switch it maybe back to the annual mode. Does anyone have any questions?
one of the as I'm watching you do this, one of the things that could be interesting is, in fact, the first UI I thought of for this was to have this, some kind of simple slider where I could focus in on an area that I'm interested in, because everyone's going to start with, I think, their own cities or things that they care about first, right? You just don't want to see how that changes over time. The interface feels a little kind of clunk, clunk, clunk. If you had like a little slider or something, you could just, and actually see it change over time could be interesting.
That's definitely the case, but on the back end, we're crunching gigabytes of data in order to produce those predictions. So using the discrete steps allows us to catch the intermediate results in a way that speeds up the experience.
Got it. What data are you using? What's the source of the data?
This is the CMIP5 climate projection data. We're using the SESM1 CAM5 model for this. In the future, we hope to use a multi-ensemble average. So this is global data available at a half-degree resolution.
I have a multitude of questions because the data going into this is clearly critically important to its success. The challenges around the planet are tremendous. And I just wondered if we could go to India and look at the monsoon behavior there. That probably is one of the most challenging areas for us to predict. Do you include that sort of thing?
I include everywhere. The technique works for anywhere that there's data from the global circulation models run by the CMIP5 groups, so that would include India. The particular metric used to judge similarity here is using winter and summer months, but disregarding the spring and fall. That may not be appropriate for all areas of the world, but it's easy to change. And definitely the monsoons is something that I have thought about. How you represent the fluctuation of that particular rainfall pattern as opposed to other aspects of the climate is certainly a challenge in visualization.
Obviously, this is critically useful for the communities that are having to adapt to the impacts of climate change, and it's always that adaptation process that is the most challenging. Everyone has adapted already to their own climate, and as their climate shifts to the behavior of a different one, the adaptation process is the challenge. Is that the detailed community that you're aiming at here?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the last part of your question?
Well, the question is, who is it directed at? Is it directed specifically at farmers, at policymakers, or is it directed at the general community to make them more aware of the nature of the challenge?
So I have tried to design the interface so that it's immediately accessible to the general community, but I've tried to visualize the data such that it will be useful to planners. And I'm targeting it, in my mind at least, more specifically towards planners, and hoping to add other details later that will make it more useful to them, and I'd be interested to talk to you about what those might be.
I could go on and on. This is very interesting. I mean, what I have in mind also is melting permafrost and the challenges that were faced in northern Russia with railway lines, roads, villages simply sinking in as during that enormous heat wave they had. Do you include these events?
I'm sorry, come again?
Do you include events like this? Because basically, I think you're looking at averages rather than particularly extreme events. It's the increase in frequency of extreme events that I'm referring to. In Britain, we've just had our worst floods ever. So.
Yeah, that is very true. So the global circulation models produce data on a per month output, and that is being analyzed in an average way here. Certainly you could step forward through that data and look for like the frequency of temperature precipitation extremes over time. That wouldn't be too difficult of an extension.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That was encouraging a lot of debate there. Thank you, Richard. And
you're welcome.
we had better move on. Could I ask all the teams that have presented to switch over to watching on YouTube, as we're at the limit of Google Hangouts here with 10 participants, so that way we'll be able to allow the final team to join us. Thanks.
And then Dan, we'll be bringing back the winning team and the runner-up at the end, I think, to congratulate them. So we can we'll keep watching.
Yep. Okay, so next we're going to have Bring Your Cup from Santiago, Chile. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hi, Dan.
Hi, everyone.
Go straight in for it. You've got 3 minutes.
Okay. We're going to share our screen.
Do you see our screen?
Yeah.
Do you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes? Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm Christian from Bring Your Cup. Bring Your Cup aims to create a global movement to change people's habits regarding the indiscriminate use of disposable materials. Starting with something as simple as encourage them to drink from reusable cups instead of the disposable ones that are all too common. Next. If you think about the 1,000 people that attended the Global Hack for Good, they used about 2 disposable cups each one. Times 3 days for the events equaled about the 6,000 cups thrown away during the Hack for Good. Given this number, how many cups are thrown away in an office building every week or during a whole year? The thing is simple. Just bring your cup, but bringing together people from all over the world, this simple change can have a massive impact. So we believe the best waste is the waste that never be made. Now are going to present our prototype.
Okay. Well, the step 1, we will present the landing page with information related to the waste of disposable cups. The step 2, if we click the button on the enter of the app, we're going to see the app based on Ruby on Rails. You can now add your company, events, participants, and send them emails or Twitter reminders. If we show an organization, Global Finals Hack for Good, we have an event and we have people to remind to bring your cup. And we can remind, for example, Kat Rolangan, hey Kat, remember to bring your cup. Or for the event. After step 4, after the event, participants will be rated. If they broke their cups, for example, if they did, it will increase the company score, allowing the company keep appearing on the Wall of Fame section. Well, that's what the project's about.
Questions?
Any questions?
It seems pretty straightforward. I think one of the things that's been catching on, at least in tech companies here in California, is moving away from disposable anything to having like plastic cups and things like that built in. So it's pretty neat to see, at least at the company level, having that adoption. I think it's interesting to try to force or encourage people to do that, on their own.
Sorry, no entendí. Voy a preguntar qué repite.
Sorry, could you please repeat us the question? We didn't.
We didn't get it. Do you mind?
Oh no, I was just saying it seems interesting.
Yo también.
Thank you. Thanks.
Algo como que en California creo que tienen algo igual.
I would come in as well and say I hope this really goes viral. I think it's a great idea.
Espero que se haga una buena idea.
It's all part of the notion of the circular economy. We have to move into a non-linear economy. A linear economy, we take commodities, create market-facing goods, and then throw them away. We now have to move into the circular economy. I congratulate you. I just hope it really flies.
y tenemos que volver a usar la taza.
Vale, eso.
Okay.
¿Qué les dije? Vamos a ver que la comunidad está poniendo el barnico para llevar esa copa, entonces
Con que veamos la
¿quién
mesa
va a llevar la taza?
Esa parte es muy difícil.
Ah.
Sí.
Pero ¿cuál es la pregunta?
¿Cómo haces atractivo que alguien deje que tenga que llevar su vaso?
We want to we want to talk with sponsors to help us with some prizes to encourage people to use the application. And companies now, we all know that companies want to get promoted with different ways of marketing called help the environment or the community, and that would be a very good good section to be highlighted in the Wall of Fame of if the company, if that company help us to promote and invite their co-workers and
to use the application.
Yes, and to use the application.
You know, something a little lost in translation here that I saw in the earlier presentations was the ability for this to virally, not exactly shame people, but when you remind people and they attach that to a photo, it's kind of a fun gaming kind of way. And he's got his cup, but in a prior judging panel, we had a judge where they had a non-reusable cup, a plastic or paper cup, and it reminds you quickly how fast that can add up, and how much the impact can be if a business or a large business building could actually utilize or implement this to change in their own individual locations and take steps toward change. Want to add in there that
you need to have a visualization, an additional visualization of how much is being saved. You know, I think it's kind of hard to lose track on how much one little cup is actually doing anything. So, having something that would help show like, hey, it's part of a landfill and say that whatever it is might help to bring context to what you're actually doing.
For example, in our university, we have coffee breaks every day, and we're starting to encourage my classmates and hey, bring your cup and don't use the polystyrene cups. We have the all week coffee breaks. And some of our classmates they're doing it. They are doing, and they are changing that they are breaking that habit, and we are very happy if in the next Hack for Good, all the participants brings their cups. We think we are getting our aim. We're getting our goal done.
The application presents a pattern. This is the important.
So I think we have to move on to the next team. Definitely have everyone bring their cup to the next Hack for Good. There's a lot of cups around the world. A lot of coffee goes into 48 hours of hackathon. Thanks, guys. Awesome work. Next up, we've lost Rodney. Oh, no, we haven't. Back. Hi, Rodney. So next up we have Tremo, a team from San Francisco,
Morning, guys.
tackling deforestation or reforestation.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, everyone can see that okay?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'll be presenting Tremo app. On my team is Nathan Abercrombie, Brandon Istanis, Matt Rothenberg, and my name is Rodney Cullen. Just to give you a bit of background, we really wanted to, the climate change, the scope of the problem is massive, and we wanted to really focus on building something that we could ship over the course of the weekend that would have a direct impact. We chose the challenge we chose to tackle is deforestation. and our proposed solution is Tremo app. Tremo app aims to raise awareness and funds for reforestation programs. The concept is very simple. Every time you check in at a participating business, we plant a tree. How does that magic happen, I hear you asking? Business would go to the Tremo website. It would sign up and make a donation to one of the participating reforestation programs. We would then send them a sticker pack that they can put up stickers in their establishment. When users see these stickers, they check in to the business through our app that would publish to Facebook and any other of their profiles that they choose to add, and then we then forward the funds to the reforestation program. We really like this concept because it creates a win-win-win scenario. Yeah, so I'm going to quickly flick over to the live demo. Hopefully this is all going to work. So this is our website that we built. I'd just like you to notice the 566 trees counter that we have on our website. On the right side of my screen is a live copy of my Android device that I have running here. So I'm going to open up the Tremo app. I'm going to log in with my Facebook, and so you can see I'm now logged in. I'm going to select, could not obtain my current location. That's the first time that's happened. Of course.
Demos.
So, yeah, I'm going to quickly switch to my backup video.
We've definitely seen that working before.
So, yeah, where I bring up a list of the local bars and restaurants and check in to plant a tree. This would post then an update to my Facebook wall stating that I was at that business and that I'd checked in a tree. So we built this out. We built out the website, the front end. We built a web back end using Firebase. You can see here we have an admin panel to manage the businesses and to keep a track of the check-ins and the donations. And yeah, so that's our project. The progress we've made so far, we've built out the team, we've built out the branding. We've been speaking to organizations like WeForest. We've built out the Android app integrated with the Facebook and Firebase. This is all working. Built out the web front end, the admin back end. We've mocked up some stickers, and we have been integrating feedback. We've been speaking to businesses, and they do seem to have a fair bit of interest. We believe that the project, we do plan to continue with the project. In fact, yesterday we were here for best part of 8 hours, all 4 of us working on it. We want to launch the iOS version, improve the UX, UI, integrate automated billing so that once the business burns through their credits, they can get billed again. And so we believe that our Tremo app can have a large impact because it's very scalable. We can roll out internationally without too many hassles. We're starting to collect a really good group of mentors. The team is really committed. It has minimal overhead once it's launched, so there's no reason we can't plant thousands of trees very quickly, one check-in at a time. And
project. Hey, what does it cost to plant a tree anyway? I'm not even familiar with.
So yeah, when we first really got into this project, we started looking at some of the different reforestation organizations. The one that we based this on could do it at a cost of 10 cents per tree. We then spoke to WeForest and Foru. We actually, during the hackathon, we spoke to Stephen from Foru in Thailand, and he informed us that if you really want to have a good chance at making the tree survive, it's more in the region of like $1 to $1.50. We spoke to Bill Lau, one of the co-founders of WeForest, and he said we could probably get that down a little bit, maybe with some, but everyone sort of is on board with the concept of one check-in should equal one tree, and there are ways to make that happen. Yeah.
And so the commitment from the business sponsoring is.
So the idea would be that the business would sign up. We're trying to get a handle right now on what a check-in is worth to a business on the different platforms. What would be their monthly sort of budget for this effort. The thing that I'm personally really excited about is that because they would be making the donation directly, for example, in this case to WeForest, it is tax deductible. So essentially, I think it's in the region of 35% of that they can actually claim back. And let's not forget, at the end of the day, they get, so if they make let's say a $200 a month commitment to this, that's tax deductible. So 35% of that, I think 30 to 35% of that is tax deductible. That is going to a good cause regardless. So it's, we're going to plant trees regardless if there's any check-ins. The check-ins are like a byproduct. It's a fringe sort of benefit. So the users, we like it because it's a win-win scenario. The users get to publicize the fact that they've helped plant a tree, virtually zero cost to them. The business gets the visibility on social platforms, and the reforestation organizations get the money.
There was a campaign a while ago where if you retweeted something, you could see some organization would plant a tree. And it got something like 2 million trees, or they capped it at some point, right?
So yeah, since last weekend we've been doing a fair bit of research. There was an app that was called Cause World that had a very similar concept, but it was based on points, a point system. So if you did check into a business, this was 3-4 years ago, you accumulated points that you could then exchange for a cause. Obviously, you could definitely use this concept to support many different causes. We chose to focus on one specifically, because it made it very easy to understand and for adoption, and also because I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of a casino uses chips because it distances the concept of money to what you're losing. So we've tried to bring that back. Instead of having a point system in the middle, one check-in equals one tree, and that's a direct relationship. It's easy to understand, obviously.
We better move on to the next team. We're running a little over.
Can I just?
I'm very happy to introduce you to all the teams.
And
David.
David had a question too.
Yeah, just very quickly. I may have missed the point here. It's a wonderful idea, but I just worry about somebody in Malaysia taking out rainforests and planting palm oil trees and counting the palm oil trees as part of your exercise.
Of course. So that's why we try and that's why we would work very closely with the reforestation organizations that have a good handle on this. We'd make sure to do our due diligence and then partner up with someone that actually we're the technology partner in this idea. This project.
So you're partnering with WeForest, I believe, and they work in very close collaboration with the local communities to plant appropriate trees that are going to offer services and even economical benefits to the local community as well.
Thank you.
Great. Is there some way you could associate a given check-in with the GPS coordinates of the associated tree?
So that's something that we've been told that is very important, is to close the feedback loop, and we've been told that it's definitely possible, it's feasible, maybe not down to that individual tree, but I mean, it was a week ago that we started working on this, and we're trying to understand what data is available and how easy it would be and what the cost would be of closing that feedback loop, but we've been told it's very important for retention. So we're definitely looking into it.
Thank you, Rodney. This one's clearly inspiring a lot of debate and interest as well. We will move on to our final team now. This team is a team called Hole Patchers from Krakow, Poland. The team are not able to join us for this session, but they've shared a video for me to share. Hole Patchers were addressing the Resilient Communities Challenge. They've built an app that allows fast and automatic localization of holes in roads, which makes it easy to avoid damaging your car and potentially more fuel efficient if we have higher quality roads. Also reacting to the possibility of increased temperatures causing more damage to roads, especially dramatic changes in temperatures. Hole Patchers was built by a team of 5, Stanislav, Anya, Bartek, Vladislav, and Marcin. And I'm going to show a short video of their presentation. So if everyone goes again to that YouTube app to see the video, I'll just load it up. And everyone watching on YouTube, and see if you reload your page, there's a link to the video in the description of this live broadcast. Does everyone see the video? Yes, Bram.
Sorry. We just
Looks like David had to step out. Okay, let's watch the video. David, do you see the video?
I can see the video, but I don't hear it, and it's not moving.
That's because I've paused it to ask you if you could see it. Here we go again then, thank you.
Says.
chwilę, jakieś mam... Sorry. Jak wygląda?
Okej. Usiądź obok ciebie, jakby co? Hmm?
All right, so that was whole patras. I still have some music. Sorry, that's.
Hello
That was
everyone,
whole
I'm very sorry to be late.
Yeah, so thanks for joining, Anya.
Thank you.
We only do have a few minutes left.
Sure,
if you've got any questions, judges, for Anya.
You know, there was there was a very similar project, Code for America. I think did something like this. They deployed it in Boston. I think it was very, very similar to what you guys did. But I don't know whatever happened to it. It was meant to be, I think, just deployed in the city of Boston. But I like the fact that this could be deployed internationally.
Well, as far as I did my research, I didn't know about Boston. We do know that there was a similar project in Dublin. It was called Fix My Street, but it was only done manually. So you could notify authorities about the graffiti or hole in the road only manually. But what we wanted to do was to detect the holes automatically and have an application that could run in the background.
Did we have any more questions for whole patras?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. So, right, I think we've only got a few minutes left. So, time for some quick deliberations. Judges, how are you on a hard deadline for half past? Do we need to be really, really quick to get the feedback and?
Yeah, I am. I'm already having to go off. So this is me going in and out.
Okay. Well, David, if you think in the other tab you've got the HIP chat open, if you've got time, just to give a quick assessment of each team, or just even know your top three.
I've been
writing. That'd be great.
I've been writing my numbers down.
So what we'll do is I'm going to mute all of the judges in here, and we'll move on to the HIP chat channel to share feedback and discuss by text. So we'll reconvene and kind of announce the winner here in probably 5 or so minutes. So I'm going to put all the judges on mute so that we don't kind of share things we don't want to. Ruben, would you like to say a few words about what you see as your vision for the future of Geeklist and Hack for Good and the change we can make in the world while the judges deliberate?
Yeah, Dan, this is a really remarkable moment for us. I never thought so many NGOs would come and join us in this effort. I do want to send a special thanks to Rackspace, Just Giving, SendGrid, and all of the phenomenal local partners that got involved and helped us make this happen. We're planning a full year's worth of Hack for Good events for 2015. We're getting bigger and more exciting as it goes. Most importantly, all of the Hack for Good events are not focused on just social change and the climate, but we choose and select different topics for each individual event. Leading up to this event, our topics have all been focused on a generalization. So we've had apps built from everything from stop human trafficking style apps all the way to apps built focused on tracking refugees. We've had things done for helping people stop web disability, utilizing cameras to track your face and give people with limited or no mobility in their hands the ability to move their mouse on the screen. We've had so many projects. I think we have a 73% carry-on rate of projects that have been developed that have gone on to continue building and helping make people's lives better, helping make children's lives better, and as well as helping to make this climate a better place to live in, which is what we're focused on and come together here today. The impetus behind Hack for Good is uniting technology to give people a better place to live and a better environment, or to solve problems. We ran one event towards Typhoon Haiyan. When Typhoon Haiyan struck, we learned a lot from that event, as it was 100% virtual. And during that event, we were joined by the United Nations, as well as Doctors Without Borders and the President's Office in the Philippines, to find and solve problems on the ground in communication in rapid format. We have some apps that were built that continued on from there, and what we've learned really is that it only takes one person with the skills and the support to make a real change. So when we see that there's someone participating virtually, or we see that there's a small team in a small city somewhere, those things don't matter. What matters is they select an idea, they select a project to work on, and they build it. And we have 140 teams that have done that already on this event. Our past events have had hundreds combined of apps built, and we're looking at finding ways to make sure that all of those apps that are built have the ability to carry on in the future. And in order to do that, we need...
Ruben, sorry to interrupt briefly. I just wanted to check. David, are you in the HIP chat? Are you able to see in the other tab?
I'm still listening to what's being said, but when you say I'm in the HIP chat, I've gone over to it, and frankly, I don't understand what I'm looking at.
So you should see different comments from Andy and Bram. There should be a box at the bottom where you can type in.
Okay. Okay, I see. So we're not doing any verbal interchange. All you want us to do is put down my top three in order.
Yes, that would be fantastic. And we can, I mean, I know the teams should find your feedback very valuable in terms of further feedback as well, but for now, that's all we need.
Okay.
So while they're in there doing that, Dan, and you have that coming together with the judges, thank you again to all of the judges, not just Andy, Bram, and Sir David King here with us today, but also all of the other judges that came on board. We've had a remarkable turnout from brilliant minds around the world, and to bring those minds together with the nonprofits and the technologists, we need advisors, we need accelerators. All of this takes infrastructure, all of this takes help, and for the Hack for Good project to continue on, it takes sponsors and it takes hard work by a lot of people like Dan and the hundreds of ambassadors lined up. They're all ready to do this again for this and for other challenges, including I think in the coming year we're going to be looking at challenges surrounding health, challenges surrounding climate again. We'll be looking at challenges surrounding hunger and food shortages, challenges surrounding water, and the most important thing for us is to have the support that we need to get that done. Dan and I are looking forward to a fantastic 2015, and this has been a really great event. How are we looking on the judging?
Yes, we have the verdicts in from the judges. I'm just adding up the scores. Moments away. Doing that, I think we also need to thank a few of our API partners who brought together some of the tools and system services to help teams really build solutions very quickly.
CartoDB did a wonderful job.
So yeah, we had CartoDB, Think DataWorks, SendGrid, and then also Gandhi.net and Groupon sponsoring.
And of course, it would be impossible to name and mention all of the incredible ambassadors working with us. So a special thanks to our media team that united organically worldwide to help us promote and talk about the event and prepare press releases and prepare information. A huge thank you to every single ambassador in every city. You're all part of the Hack for Good family. And the last thing to mention, I guess, while you're tallying up, is we do have this Geeklist core of developers that every software engineer has become a part of. And that core of developers is for people who have spent 48 hours of their lives, donated their time and efforts and knowledge and skills to try and make the world a better place, be it during this hackathon or the past 5 hackathons. All of them are united in, all of them have the same core interior thought process of not looking for prizes, but looking for real change and looking to work hard to help people and to help the world, help the planet. So we thank each and every one of the developers, product designers, project managers, VCs, investors, builders, thinkers, idea makers, everybody who's gotten involved in the event. We thank every one of you. And now looks like we are. Looks like we have a tie.
So we have a clear winner and a clear second place. Just some deliberation on third place to go.
Wow, well, this is exciting. We've got a little bit of a tie here for second place.
For third place.
Ah, I see, for third. Ah, oh, interesting.
Okay, I think, Bram, are you in agreement with that decision?
Neither of the third place one got my vote. So. If you want me to tiebreak.
Yeah. Shall we?
Well, and again, the real winning prize here is if these apps go on and become something real. So if anybody's watched this, obviously we're going to use our efforts to try and help every single one of these projects become a reality, because each one of them can have an impact, however so small or however so large, it matters. So every single one of these is, I guess you could say, a winner. But more importantly, we're very excited to announce. Dan, do you want the honors, since you've really been leading this effort so strongly? I think it's your honor to you've earned the right to go ahead and make the announcement.
Yeah, okay, I will. Ruben, do you want to try and bring on those other teams onto the webcast so we can see their reactions?
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll go into the
chat. If you probably the fastest way, they're probably watching on YouTube, so you could comment on.
Well, there'll be a.
I've got it open in the tab.
Or we can bring them on in the chat. All right. Looks like they're getting ready to come back.
Well, actually, we're gonna be one of. Oh no, Anya's dropped off again. Okay. Would be nice to have Anya with us.
Wanna send me the YouTube link? And I'll look at it on my laptop.
Oh, looks like we have Anya.
All right.
All right, Dan, over to you.
Okay, so. All right, I just have to echo Ruben's comments, though, that all 6 of these teams are absolutely incredible and represent the pinnacle of what was built at Hack for Good. There are so many other teams as well who we are going to be supporting to go forwards, and I believe can have a huge impact on climate change issues. So, it isn't just about the competitive element. This is about humanity collaborating, and Geeklist, along with all of our partners, are very much up for and will be supporting many of the teams to go forwards. Saying that, we do have a top 3 who the judges have selected. So I'm very, very pleased to announce, first of all, in 3rd place, we have Tremo. These teams are absolutely incredible and represent the pinnacle. Congratulations. Congratulations, Rodney and team.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I had 2 videos running and I missed what happened? Sorry, I just heard Tremo.
Yeah, you have won 3rd place.
Awesome! Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, in 2nd place, so runners-up of Hack for Good 0.6 globally, we have Hole Patchers. Congratulations, Anya and team.
Thank you very much. That's amazing.
Would any of the judges like to say something about either Tremo or Hole Patchers before we announce the global overall winner?
Both are great projects. Good creative solutions to interesting problems. So good job, guys.
Thank you.
Great job. Okay, so our global winner of Hack for Good, Geeklist Hack for Good 0.6 against climate change, the project and team judged to have the biggest potential for global scale impact in helping humanity address this huge challenge. My future climate.
Hey!
Congratulations, Richard.
Thank you.
David, would you like to say a few words about my future climate?
Well, Richard, your project stood out from a bunch of extremely good and competitive projects, but well done. I think the decision of the judges is spot on. Your project has the potential to have a tremendous impact, and it's the sort of thing that will have an impact at quite a wide range of levels. You know, I've suggested policymakers, policy advisors, but right out to the general public. It's the sort of thing that that we really needed. So keep working on it. There's going to be an updating process constantly because the science of the impact of climate change is, of course, changing rapidly. But many congratulations.
Will do. Thank you.
You know, I echo that. I think you did a really decent job. I think it was the observation that the output of a lot of these hackathons is the kernel of something that definitely needs a lot more refinement, a lot more work. And I'd like to see this project grow some legs and do something, become a lot more robust and a lot more filled. Great job, though.
Thank you.
It's important to note, Dan, I think that a special mention definitely goes to Bring Your Cup for tying for third place, and we had to have a vote off. So we just want everyone to know, I think, that they deserve recognition for so close.
Thank you.
Chile.
Thanks a lot. It means a lot to us, your recognition, and don't forget another Hack for Good to Bring Your Cup.
Yeah, I love it. Well done. It's a great idea.
Well, I think we've run over a little bit. I just have to say a huge thank you to all of our judging panel. So David King, I know that you must have an absolutely insane schedule this week in New York. It's absolutely, it's almost overwhelming that you might join us. So thank you very much.
It's been a great experience. Thank you. I have actually got to rush straight off right now. So many thanks, and it's great, Andy, to have been working with you and Brian on this. Terrific.
Thanks, David.
Thank you very much, David.
And
thank you,
Andy and Bram. Thank you for your early morning start to join us here. Insight that you've really offered to some of the teams and your kind words about everything we've done.
Thank you. I've been honored to be on.
Thanks, Bram.
So that's it. It's over. Yes. But it's not really over. Ruben, high five. All around, I think, 1,100 people worldwide who took part. 10, whatever there is, 5,000 and something. So that was Hack for Good 0.6. It's been an incredible pleasure to be part of organizing it. Huge thank you to all of the volunteers globally. We absolutely need more people involved in helping make this happen next time. There will be a Hack for Good 0.7 and 0.8 and 0.9 and eventually 1.0. Very much welcome anyone who's been part of this to join us in making the next one even bigger and more impactful. And to all of the teams, we're here to support you. As I said, this is the end of the hackathon, really, but it's only the beginning for many of you. I know a lot of you will be going on to form social enterprises, to work and collaborate with NGOs who you've formed relationships with over the course of this week, and we'll happily introduce you more of those. And I know many of these will go on to be startup companies as well. We're here to work with you, and we have partnerships with different accelerator and incubator programs around the world to help make that happen as well. everyone deserves a little bit of rest, I think, now. But let's now take these projects forwards and go on and make a global impact with what we've started.
Good job.
Yeah. So really great job, everyone. That's Dan. Without further ado, I think that we're signing off. What a great event, man! We did it, and you did it, and thank you, everyone. It's can't wait for the next.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.